What foods should you feed your parrots? Today we're going to talk about several different categories. Different continental parrots, like what should you feed Australian parrots. We're also going to go by size and so of course species. Hey guys, when you are someone like me and you love parrots, and I have over 22 species of parrots, talking about what you should feed your parrots can get a little complicated because I have over 22 species. And some kind of fall in the same categories, but really every species has a different diet in the wild. So we're going to make it as simple as possible. We're going to listen to our umbrella cockatoo scream, and we're going to talk about what to feed. Now, I'm an author, and here's one of my latest books, The Parrot Keeper's Companion and Journal. This book is going to give you information so that now that it's baby season, if you get a baby parrot, you will know what to do and how to prepare for them. Plus, it also gives you space to write about how it's going, because it is also a journal, and space to do a good weekly well-being check so that you can make sure that your parrot is doing well. I also have my pink umbrella cockatoo journal. This is just a lined journal. I am actually using one. I love it. There you go. 2 of my books on Amazon under KB Raphael. Now let's talk foods. Okay, not all feathers are created equally. So when it comes to my parrotlets, for example, things are different for them than they are for other parrots. As you can see, my parrotlets live together, several of them. Busting the myth that they shouldn't, but on to food. For my parrotlets, they get a pelleted diet after veggies, and I prefer the non-food coloring pellets. So they get the small pellets, and that's about half their diet. They also get fresh vegetables, and I do like to give these guys some seeds because these are little birds and they do sort of rely on that. Oh, there goes Arabella. And so here are some of the parakeet seeds that they get. Now, this base diet of vegetables and pellets and some seeds, I like to do as many vegetables as they'll eat, and I do that first thing in the morning. And then they always have pellets, and I give them seeds. I want for their seeds to be about 30%, maybe 40% of their diet. It also depends on the time of year. And so what I do is I like to see how they're doing. They always have pellets available. And then depending, I switch out the seeds. Like I'll refill the seed dish and then I will empty it. Oh, look at that. Sometimes they like to walk on the hamster's wheel. Oh, but they're just, I do my minis the same way. They get those fresh vegetables and the pellets and some seeds, and depending on how they're doing, sometimes I give them the parakeet seeds. Sometimes I give them conure seeds, which means it has some safflower seeds and stuff like that as well. But again, I really like to limit it. I don't give them too many. Next, let's talk conures. This is my blue-throated conure, Ray, who's leaving us. Ray gets a very similar diet, those fresh vegetables, pellets, but when I give him seeds or when I give them seeds during the winter, they get regular conure seeds, so it's a bigger mix with those safflower seeds as well, and there's his partner. If he'll stay there, there's one of my crimson belly conures. When it comes to the Puria conures, they're all going to get that same basic diet. Lots of fresh veggies. Like I said, you know, oh, where did you go? If they'll do 30%, I'll give them 30%. Where did you guys go? There you are. There's their nest box. Hi, guys. They love sleeping in a box, and I don't mind if they get hormonal, although they're a little young. And the pellets and those seeds, and that's the basis for their extreme close-up and diet. We come to parrots that have a bigger beak. Look at that beak. Look at that. Isn't that a honking beak? Cape parrots do have some of the biggest beaks. When you have parrots that are big parrots, like the macaws, the African greys, the Cape parrots, even my Queen of Bavaria, these are parrots that need some nuts in their diet. So they also get those fresh vegetables, and when they're accustomed to fresh vegetables, which can take some time, they flock to them. They love them. They also get pellets at the base of their diet, and then my big macaw gets about 1/2 cup of nuts, and the rest of them get about 1/4 cup of nuts. That is for them to have the nut fat that they require. And you can see with that big old hookbill, it is made for eating nuts, so he is meant to have some nuts for sure. When it comes to Amazon parrots, there's Henry, he's a mealy Amazon. And, oh, there's Orabella. They don't get those seeds or the nuts, hopefully you can hear me, because they don't require that additional fat, but I am sure to give them plenty of veggies, huh, Ursula? Plenty of veggies and the pellets. To Australian birds, like my Prince of Wales here, who's blurry, I like to give them more parakeet seeds because they are seed eaters. They like to eat the grasses and the seeds that are in the grasses when they're in the wild in Australia. So I do give them more of that. Again, as many veggies, big part of their diet should be those fresh veggies. And then, of course, the pellets as well. But I do give these guys a few more seeds. I don't mind doing about 40% because, like I said, that's what they would eat in the wild. But I don't give them anything other than the parakeet seeds. Okay, so we've talked about some of the variations. It does vary by species, but you could see that for me, for example, my Australians, whether it is my Major Mitchell or my Budgie, they do get more of those parakeet seeds. I'm not uncomfortable with that. And I don't sit there and weigh out and make sure they're getting 40%. What I do is I will give them some parakeet seeds one day, and then like maybe the next day I won't, depending on how much they do and don't eat. They'll get fresh vegetables as much as we can every single day. That's a really important part of their diet to me, no matter what, because in the wild, parrots would be eating like 100 different foods in like the space of a month or something like that. And that's of course because as they're going around foraging for food, they're going to eat a lot of whatever whatever they find, right? Whatever leaves, whatever they run across. Parrots, however, especially maybe the larger species, this isn't so true, but when it comes to ripe sweet fruit, that's actually not usually what they eat. They will usually go past ripe sweet fruit to something that is unripe and eat that instead. And if you are wondering, that's Blue, our Quaker. Blue, who like the Amazons is also prone to becoming overweight. He doesn't get extra seeds or nuts other than what he steals. Sometimes he steals stuff. But to try to keep him healthy, he gets lots of those fresh veggies and then his pellets. So when you abide by these things and make sure that you're keeping your bird in balance, I think you can't go wrong. It used to be that people would do a seed-based diet and like that's almost all they did. And of course, that's kind of like us eating one of anything, but let's say it's hamburgers all the time. Our bodies are made for variety, and so is a parrot's. So make sure that you do give your parrot a variety. If your parrot doesn't seem to like fresh vegetables, that's not uncommon. Sometimes when they're being weaned either by a breeder or in a pet store, they don't always feed them the fresh vegetables. Sometimes that's more than they can really do. So in that case, just be consistent. Make sure if you are really spending time with your parrot when they're with you, make sure that you're eating those fresh vegetables because then they're more likely to try them and to eat them as well. And if not, just make sure that you keep offering them because with time they will get there. And by time, sometimes I mean a year. Sometimes it does take that long. And when that's the case, you know, I would only put a little bit of fresh vegetable in the cage with whatever parrot I was trying to get to eat the fresh vegetables. Because if I knew that they were going to be turning it down, that was fine. So I minimized what I was wasting, but I had that there so that every day they could think about it. Every day they could choose whether or not to have it. And eventually they do come around. Now, when we put fresh vegetables and the fresh food in their cages in the morning, they swarm to it. And I love seeing that. Thanks. I hope that helps you know what to feed your parrot. Hopefully your parrot falls in one of those categories. If not, you're welcome to post and ask below or give Blue and I one of these, and we'll catch you in the next feathered video.